Hello! Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Let's turn that down a little bit. What's up, Kyle? Hello, Emperor. Fitzfactor. Thanicorn. Kyle again. How's it going? Hoshu, thanks for the host. That's fun. How are you guys doing? What you drawing? What am I drawing? Streamscapes. That's what I said. Streamscapes. Whatever that means. You're drained from work. Yeah, me too. It's gonna be another slow night. But I'm gonna try to do something. Try to loosen up tonight. I'm going imaginary tonight. Streamscapes. Or maybe I'll paint. I've been wanting to do an image with that includes the land striders from the Dark Crystal. It's an option. I've been kind of into that. I've kind of wanted to do just like a fun landscape. It's been a while. Miguel, hello. Good evening to you. I don't know. Well, I'm going to start with some design sketches, and we'll see where it goes. Alright. So typically, when I don't know what to do, I do this sort of thing. I just want to find a design. That's usually the first part of an environment painting. Especially when I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. Hello from Indonesia. How are you doing? Benny. A remake for the Dark Crystal? Not that I know of. Maybe. Maybe. I hope I have everything set up correctly. I just want to make sure that stuff's set up nice. YouTube's pretty good. YouTube doesn't have too much stream lag, looks like. Twitch has a lot. Twitch always letting me down. I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit. It's a little loud in my ear. I gotta hear myself think. Alright. So I have got some reference. But I just did it in like 5 minutes. Just creepy forests. You don't need to see it. Maybe we'll start with forests. So yeah, I always try to find my design first. That is super important. Because everything starts off as a graphic design problem. I try to keep it as simple as possible, as flat as possible. I typically work zoomed out pretty far. The first ideas are never winners. referencing my Zelda painting. Sure, go ahead. I would look at actual real world reference. That's what, yeah, that's what I would say. But you go ahead, do what you want. If you're all curious. This is just what I got in my other monitor, just to kind of get some shapes going in my head. This probably won't help me much, actually. Now I look at it, it's not really focused reference. It's just, hey, let's get some mossy covered trees, and what does that look like? And I might end up doing something else entirely. But it doesn't matter, because where we start with is with a good design. Maybe I'll try a Land Strider thumbnail too. Design is always the tricky thing, and my first thumbnail is always going to be the most obvious. Well, I got a strong vertical, so I don't want a strong horizontal, because then that flattens out the image quite a bit. Everything's too calm. I don't want everything to be too calm. It's good to introduce some diagonals in there. Hello, Bobber, on the Twitch. Thank you so much for coming in. So I only use 1/3 of the canvas to draw on. I use 1/3 of my Cintiq here. We should get some 3-point perspective feels in here. I have the Cintiq I have is the 22 HD. There are newer ones. Like my wife just got the brand new 16-inch. It's got a much nicer screen on it. I would highly recommend it, honestly. As long as that size isn't too small. I think it's a little small for me. I wish it was just a few inches bigger, but I could probably get used to it. Brian Draws, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So this Cintiq, what did this cost? Like $2,000? I can't remember. It was somewhere around $2,000. Yeah, 2,000. The newer one, I think there's like a 27-inch one that's a monstrosity. That one's probably 3,000. I don't know. Someone would have to look that up. I want the next, whatever the next like new tablet. They have the 16-inch with the new screen. I want the next size up. If they do like a 20-inch, I'm gonna sell this one and just get that. I think it's a better screen. I like it. Apostle, hello, with the slick emotes. Thank you for coming in again. You must always be on Twitch. You're just so supportive. Thank you. I'm looking at trees. I'm looking at trees. Yes, my wife is also an artist. She works in games. She does 2D artwork. She's very good. She's very good. And she's always working here next to me. She should do a stream. I think that would be fun. I think that would be cool. I think you should actually just be on the stream with me and like we could share both screens at the same time, if that's possible. We've got nothing else better to do. This design is turning out okay. I think I can start adding in some other values. So here I've got a foreground. So maybe I could start working in some foreground feels. Oh, you were actually waiting for my stream? For my stream? Oh, thank you. Well, hey man, hey, thank you for staying up. If you need to go to sleep, you won't offend me. You are like half of my Twitch viewership at this point. And okay, now I'm gonna start working on the background. So let's think about a design. So, all right. Oh, you want to see her artwork? What's the best way to show people your artwork? Your website? Instagram? On Behance. There we go. Look up Lin Chen Art on Behance. I think that's probably the right one to do. We should do a same time stream. See, people want you to stream. Sweet Orange. Yep. I did not get very far. You are early. Interesting. Bobber, I am on the west coast. The coast of the west. How about you, man? You East Coaster? I was East Coast for most of my life. I moved out here, out to California a couple years ago, so I'm a recent West Coaster. Yeah, her artwork is really great. It's really cute. Andy! What's up, Andy Murray? I miss you, man. It's been so long. For real. I did move for a job, yes. For a video game job. You'll come down for Comic-Con, right? Right, Andy? Yeah, so at this point I'm not really like, I'm not really worried about details. I just want a good design. I want something that I can build on top of. Something that kind of makes me think, oh, this will be good. I should keep working on this. Pretty straightforward. I want I want 2 strong focal points, particularly on the third-ish, if at all possible. And then I'm starting right now to think about how I'm gonna light this thing, but I'm not gonna get into that just yet. And then I want to make sure there's no weird tangents. I want really interesting tree. I guess the subject's gonna be just like, hey, it's a tree. It's a neat looking tree, but it's still a tree. Yeah, I don't really like Comic-Cons either. I went to the Emerald City Con just because I could walk around in there for free. I just happened to be in Seattle at the time, and it drove me insane. I could not be in there for very long. It was just, I get anxiety being in a con. But I think for Comic-Con, for San Diego Comic-Con, we're just going to go and hang out with people. I don't think we're going to actually go inside. We can't. Actually, we have no choice. Oh, would we illustrate 2 parts of the same illustration? That'd be funny. We've tried to do collaborative stuff before to mixed results. I want to do more stuff like that with her, but she's too busy for me. That's why, to be honest. She's in high demand. I can't get any of her time. Yeah, we've got all the camping stuff if you want to do camping sometime. Let's do camping. We were at Big Sur during Christmas. That was fun. and we had the puppy with us. Alright, I think I'm gonna move on to some other values, maybe think about lighting a little bit more. Think about this foreground. You know, it's when you're painting a lot of trees and forests and stuff, you gotta keep things really, really simple at the start, and then really think about the design, because it can get crazy like really, really fast, so I just want to keep it as simple, as dumbed down as possible. Don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, Kyle, that's always the thing, right? You could sketch black and white, and I like to keep things really simple like this, but moving on to color, moving on to texture, that's typically the tricky part, right? That people probably would want to see. For me, on the other hand, I feel that that's the easy part. That's the fun part. We could go crazy with texture. We go crazy with details and light, and but what's most important is just this design at the beginning. This is incredibly important, and I tend to focus on this stage quite a bit. But not spend too much time on it. Like, I don't want to invest a lot of time on something that's really just a thumbnail. But I think this is the part that is most important. I feel like I should get the image down fairly quickly at this early stage. And let's throw a figure in here. Let's put like some Tarzan looking character. Oh yeah, Yosemite would be good. Oh, do you mean like for tent camping at Yosemite? Because we've gone there where we just rented a cabin. It's like a tent cabin. That's what they called it. And I don't think we had to reserve it that far in advance. We were able to get it. And that was during the peak season. I think that was during August. But yeah, let me know, man, for real. Hit me up outside of stream, and yeah, because I haven't seen you guys in a while. Corel too. And maybe you can get Josh to go camping. That'd be fun. Oh, Kyle, you're trying to follow along. Alright, man. Well, if you get it to a point and you want to share it, you should post the link. Yo, Yosemite's the best, though. If you guys haven't been to Yosemite, you should go. For real. It's awesome. Some nice trees there. I want to go there and paint. That was fun. Bring the gouache set over there. So I'm really just using one brush, and you could see that how I've separated my layers. Maybe you can see it there, like my foreground layer. My character is always on his own layer. This layer, background. Background is just like, bleh. Just blobs and messes. Really, I feel like the background is just meant to complement the composition. Like I'm gonna have a dark shape character against a light shape. little areas where the light's coming through the leaves, you know, and then everything is kind of moving like this, like everything's kind of moving towards the character. All these diagonals are kind of pointing us this way, and then these angles are pointing us back down towards the character in the other direction. So I kind of want everything to kind of follow this sort of motion towards the character. And I want to keep the center of the image pretty clean. So this is like a clean area. And then areas of detail are going to be like right here. So D for detail, right? And then probably D right there. So I could go the other way though, where I have a dark background with a light character. I still might. I mean, that's easy to switch around. But that's kind of what I'm thinking right here. So on this third, I've got my character. This third, I've got the interesting tree. The only thing is I kind of want to maybe lower the character in some way. Perhaps. But I don't know. It's probably fine. You know, I could probably lower him a little bit. So, all these scribbles, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Blobs are good. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll kind of get the values a little bit closer to what I want. Then I can think a little bit more about lighting. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. It might be not fun for you guys to look at, but I need to zoom out just a wee bit. And I'm going to pick a little bit of a lighter value. So within this value range, within this family value range, I'm just going to lighten it just a little bit. Alright, and then get kind of an extra layer of information. Maybe that's too much. So I know I want to put some moss on this tree, so I just want to figure out the pattern of moss. What areas are going to get lit and what areas are not. So still using a hard brush, still working out the design. I need to put something interesting up here, so not sure what that is quite yet. Because I want noise, I want contrast, I want detail, just grouped up on this area of the tree over here. Maybe my reference can help me. Durant, hello. Sorry I didn't see your name pop up. How are you doing, man? So it's really important at this stage that I start thinking a lot more about perspective. Even though everything in here is pretty organic, I still want to think about showing some foreshortening on this tree branch. I'm not sure that it's quite there yet. Maybe just need to thin this down a bit so you can see the perspective of it as it comes towards the camera. And maybe if I'm crazy, I'll just go a little bit lighter right here where the light is hitting around the character. Riley, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for joining. This is your first time. It's good to see people on Twitch. Alright, Brian, go to sleep. I know it's a little late. I'll probably do a Sunday, or earlier in the day Sunday stream this weekend. I wasn't feeling it this last weekend, but I'll probably do it this coming weekend. So, thank you for joining. Alright, I don't want to go too crazy on that. So, it's important that I really do keep it simple and don't detail. Last thing you want is precious details that kind of prevent you from moving forward. Like I want the image, my goal at the early stages of painting is I want the image to look good at a distance. I want it to look like how it's going to look when it's finished, but at a distance. I think that's kind of my goal. Oh, tiny girl with huge armor. That was your idea. All right. I'll give that a thought. I'll give that a thought. You should have told me that like last week when I was focused on doing characters. So I'll probably do characters again very soon. So I will do the tiny girl with large armor. That sounds fun. So I'm adding a little bit of extra value information, but like, look at this. Like, I'm going from, what is that, a 40, or from a 42 to a 45? Like, such a subtle difference. I don't want to have too much contrast in this background. I just want to add a little bit of information, but not add to the contrast, to the noise. I don't want you to pay too much attention to that stuff. It's not important, so. I'm still not quite sure where I want my lights to come from. Still. Yes, later I will add color. Right now I'm just working out a design. And it's important that I go into color really quick. I don't want to stay in black and white land too long, because pretty much inevitably I'm gonna have to repaint a lot of this stuff. So it's kind of another reason why I don't do a whole lot of detail at this stage. Because if you do a lot of detail in the black and white stage, when you move to color, you're not going to want to repaint certain things. You're going to feel precious about it and then tighten up, and then it's not good. So at this stage, yeah, I'm going to keep it black and white for not too much longer. Just want to be happy with the design. And I'm almost there with it, I think. Tim, how you doing, man? Good to see you drop by. Is this really late for you? Aren't you in East Coast? Aren't you on the East Coast somewhere? Yeah, so I'll probably add color pretty soon here. So, I don't know. Maybe the design isn't quite there. But I want to do maybe another thumbnail, so let me just go right ahead and start to figure this out. So on this foreground, I'm going to add some finer details. Oh yeah, Tim, you're a freelancer, right? So you're probably up late often. Where did I get the idea from? Well, like I showed you guys earlier, just looking at this. I mean, I suppose I'm inspired by many things, but I just was looking at my references, and I wanted to build a design, and that's it. I don't know. I've done images like this before, so it's not brand new territory for me. I've even done designs like this before, so I guess when you do this a lot, you kind of like build up a visual library of different designs. Like I could do the same design but with snowy mountains, right? But yeah, I'm just kind of throwing the two ideas together. I think the references are more for me to just kind of get things going in my head, and then maybe some of the finer detail and color information. That's always good. All right. So I'm kind of using the foreground trees to frame my story a little bit. You know, I could get bold too and put like a big foreground thing, and I think eventually I'll probably do something like this where I'll just add a Gaussian blur, and then you know, do something like that, but not right now. Right now, just keep it as a design. All right, so moving on to color. So color's tricky. Color's something I feel like you just need to build up over time. You could use overlays. I'm probably gonna do. Actually, don't know what I'm gonna do. I haven't thought about it. Because you could use overlays. I do that sometimes, or you could actually just use color balance. It seems janky. It is janky, but I could just color balance just to kind of feel things out, right? Let me take a snapshot of this first. See, I took off my crop. It doesn't look so cinematic anymore when I take that off. But I just wanted to get a flattened up here, just so I remember my original design in case I get crazy. Thank you, Tim. I just started. You might not say that in a little bit. So again, looking at my reference now, looking at color, yeah, probably need a little bit more green in there. And then I'm going to color balance the tree. It's tricky because like I could go warm with the tree. Warmish. Green, warm, maybe. I did screw up here. I kind of wanted the mossiness to be separate. I did some tree branches. Why don't I get rid of that real quick? Use the wand tool. Set my tolerance down quite a bit. In fact, I'll just erase this. That should be good. Yes, I have used gradient map before. Yep. Why do I put big black bars? Oh, I didn't see your other. Yeah. I had the black bars in there because, well, I like to keep things really fluid throughout the process. And then maybe that's why I don't use gradient maps that much, because I feel like I can just be more fluid this way using color balance at the start. You know, whatever. Maybe it just, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't tried it enough, but yeah. So let's say, for instance, I'm not happy with the cropping of this image. I could just move my black bars around. I could widen the image right, like that. I could shift things up or down. I like having the extra space to play around, because it's really annoying. It's really hard. Like if you're doing a painting, and you're like, oh, I want to recrop this. All I want to do is add like a couple inches at the top, and then you have to like repaint everything on the top. It's just janky. I do this just for the beginning, and then later I'll crop it in a little closer. But I'll always have like some margins in there to the very end. Like there's some paintings where I realize my cropping is actually like, my good cropping is like this. And I realize, oh, actually this is my image, right? I feel like you wouldn't have that fluidity if you didn't do this sort of thing. You wouldn't have, you wouldn't take that risk, you wouldn't try it, right? If you didn't have extra space. I don't know if that makes any sense. I wouldn't say I typically start in black and white. Maybe more when I don't have any idea what I want to do, I start black and white. So yeah, Tully, I don't, sometimes I go straight into color if I know more exactly what I want to do. And for this, it's like, I knew I want to do trees, but like if I start into color, I need to know, I want to know better what the palette is that I'm going for. What's the mood? What's the time of day? What's my light? Those kinds of things I need to know a little bit more of before I start, if I'm going to go straight into color. And for this, I really had no idea. I still kind of don't, so I guess being on stream, I can only think about one thing at a time. I can't think about everything at once. I'm not the best at like talking and painting yet. Someday. That's too saturated. So, I mean, that's a really quick and dirty way to add some color in there. And once you've sort of added some color, it's I mean, that's the hard part, right? Just adding the initial bit of color. Then adding more and doing other things with it is pretty simple. I don't know what I was trying to say. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate. I'm already seeing a problem here. I'm going to just separate these trees here from the background. I'll just use the magic wand tool to do that. And then, so I got my trees separated now. And if I'm going to do like a really like photo bashy process, I could just go straight into photo textures at this point if I wanted to. But I'm going to paint out a little bit more. Yeah, Kyle, you know, you say maybe I'm not good enough to start in a color. You do. I would say what's always best is just doing what's simple first. Always start with what's simple. Try to answer like one thing at a time. You know, I'm pretty slow, so that's why I got to do things one at a time. Okay, Tim, thank you for coming by. See you later, man. Apostle, you're looking for the like button? Not sure where you would find that. So I've got this kind of leafy brush. It's like a noisy brush. I'm just adding a little bit of noise because, like, looking at my reference here, it's just kind of like the stuff back in the background is all like, I don't know, it's just noise basically. And I'm still eyeing the goal of making this look finished, but from a distance. Bye, Tim. See you, man. Oh yeah, you go on ArtStation. Yeah, I think I'm being hosted by ArtStation. I don't know. I hashtagged ArtStation on my Twitch video, so my Twitch stream, so they should be. Alright, so I'm going to lock the transparency of these layers just by hitting the question mark. That's kind of the hotkey to do that. Because I'm going to be painting textures and stuff on top of all these layers. And I don't want to interrupt the design that I worked hard for, so... And then I want to keep an eye on my design, my black and white design, just to make sure I'm not breaking things too much. So I'm adding a little bit more to this palette, and I can do that also easily by just doing color dynamics. Just kind of throwing in some more information. Mochi's snoring. My dog's snoring. Oh, good. ArtStation's on it. Good. Thank you, ArtStation. Although, where am I? Let's see. Oh, okay. There's a few people on Twitch. Still pretty quiet though. So I'm trying to think about spatially what's going on. You know, is there a lot of space between these trees and in the foreground and middle ground to the background? Are they close by? Is it daytime? You know, what kind of greens am I going to see, if any? Are there going to be some warms as well? You know, maybe. And I like to play around with the background just a little bit because things are so subtle back there that I can get a little bit relaxed and just kind of throw some stuff in there, like throw some red leaves and purple leaves and blue leaves, and just kind of see what works. Yeah, the background's always where I kind of get a little bit playful with the brush strokes and tend not to care too much because it's just the background. Who cares? You can always change that. This music's getting epic. Maybe I want a little bit more contrast over here. So I'll add some of that white light. So yeah, things tend to slow down around this point. Adolescent screams. Thank you for the follow. So sometimes I'll make adjustment layers and get the values that I'm eventually going to want in the painting, and maybe even do a color balance just to kind of demo out the palette, what I'm gonna see in the end. I could go very green, maybe. Just kind of gives me a glimpse of where I'm headed. I'll just put that in a group. Could even do things like plan out my light. Let's do a color dodge. And this way I'm not hurting my my layers by doing this. I'm just kind of keeping it separate. As long as you don't get too precious with this stuff and get afraid to get rid of it. You know, you don't want to be afraid. You don't ever want to be afraid of getting rid of anything in a painting. You always got to be okay with like iterating or changing or fixing or adjusting, because that's going to happen a lot. So don't ever fall in love with an area. Maybe much later on in the painting you can start to like fall in love, so to speak. But I'm also, when I'm doing this, I'm planning out my composition a bit. So that's important. I feel like there needs to be another figure over here or something. I'm still not sure what I want to do. Thought about maybe like a plane that's stuck in there, or some sort of home that's been built in the tree. What music am I playing? It's like super epic dark music. 1 hour of super epic dark music. And it's delivering. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not gonna get too engrossed in this color dodge layer because I still have a lot of other things I need to figure out. Yeah. Maybe I get some ambient light. So, and if I really like my adjustments that I just made, what I can do is just copy all these and clip them to each layer, each of these 5 layers, and then I'll get those adjustments added to my current painting, which maybe I should do that just to kind of move things along. I think these values are a little too much though if I do that. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Okay, let's see here. Maybe not the dodge. Maybe just those. So I'll ungroup this. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Alright, so then just kind of clip everything down to each layer. It's a bit tedious, but it's worth it, you know. Like I said, I like to be very fluid with everything I do, and sometimes you have to copy layers over and over again. And with the Zelda video, I did the thing where I just painted everything on one layer and then cut it out with lasso tool. If that allows me to be relaxed while I'm painting, then it's worth doing. That's the way I see it, because I don't ever want to tense up. So there we go. My adjustments have been shifted down to all the layers. Colin, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you like it. I just started. Wait, did I just start? How long has it been? Shoot, it's been nearly an hour. Alright, I've been talking too much. I'm gonna actually get going here. Did I lose my... Oh. I guess that's fine. Is that fine? There we go, I'm gonna do this. I forgot that layer that I had clipped on there. It's clipped on the Oh, that already got it. What am I doing? Okay. Okay, that's what I gotta do. Alright. Sorry, I just got confused. Layer confused. Okay. Now I'm back to where I was. You can't stream and paint at the same time? Do you have a stream? Okay, so I still have my dodge on its own layer up there. Let me lock these layers back up. Let me make this character dude have some color. Or female, I don't really know what I want to do. It's okay, I only paint terrible things during the stream. I'm never at peak levels when I'm streaming. Like I said last time, I enjoy just failing in front of people. That's fun. So I'm drawing this little naked dude. So silhouette's not perfect, but I kind of want just the rough colors in there that I want to put in there eventually. Well, I'm putting it in there right now. Maybe a little accessories, but not too much. I want to keep them simple because I'll be here forever. And he should have a shadow, of course, right? And maybe I'll place some... Trying to avoid some tangents. Achilles heel, hello! Good old-fashioned naked dude, that's right. It's got to be a native, right? He looks like he's chasing somebody. Another thing I do is I like working on images that are really low res or like lower res, and then just because like my brushes are really fast, I'm able to just put things. It has like a softness to it that's really interesting. Yeah, and then I'll increase the size as I go. Where am I at? 4,000 width, yeah, that's probably fine. Maybe I'll go 4,500. Just because my machine runs a little slow while I'm streaming. So that's good about a detail on that guy. Like from a distance, even though it's real messy, like from a distance it looks pretty good. That's really what matters. Achilles heel, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I'm gonna add some. Some leaves and stuff. So right now I'm kind of thinking of all the little details and things I'm gonna throw in there. So I want to get them in there ASAP. And I'm looking at my reference, and there's some really great fall color leaves. So I might riff off that a little bit, and then just see where that gets me. And I have a custom shape of leaves, so I might just start, when it comes to blocking things out, just start there, because it's easy. Appreciation 1, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. So everything's kind of at a Dutch angle, so that's being a little annoying, but guns free one. Guns free. Being an environment artist is it hard to study anatomy? Is it hard to work on anatomy? I mean, I would say, like, personally, when I was in art school and stuff, like, figure drawing was sort of my major in a way, like studio painting, and figure drawing was the thing that I did, the thing that I majored in. So I had a lot of experience doing that, and even outside of school, when I started working, I was in figure drawing every week. So studying the figure is something that I've always done. But I think, like, being a good character or concept artist and being good at figure drawing are two separate skills in a way. So being a good character-based concept artist is not something I would say that I'm really good at. It's something I'm always working on, because I'm certainly interested in doing character stuff. I like doing it quite a bit, and I always want to have it in my portfolio. So it's something I always do, even though I'm mostly tagged to do environment-based stuff. That's just the way it is, I guess. I don't know. People tend to like my environment stuff more, even though personally I like doing characters a lot. I wouldn't say more or less. Just so yeah, so for me it's not a hard subject for me to get into. I'm very into it already. It's something I'm definitely into. So Riley the Mudwing, thank you for the follow. Alright, so maybe I should use some different leaves. And the leaves can get quite noisy, so I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to add I don't want to undo my design by adding too many distracting leaves. So I'm trying to pick and choose where I'm putting it. I want noise in some areas. I don't want it in other areas. So, and again, I always want everything to kind of point back to my character. So I haven't rendered. I haven't done anything. Everything's just solid. Everything's just like solid, basic shape, hard brushes. So, no rendering required. Not yet. I could spend hours and hours and hours rendering, but I want to make sure the design is right. Miguel, you're saying your figures aren't as strong. Will that be a plus or minus on your portfolio? I would always just, like, in your portfolio, always put the thing that you're best at. You know, always put your strength forward. Whatever your best, whatever your strengths are, I would always put that always up in front in a portfolio, and not put any bad image, whether environment or character. So if you're gonna throw a character image in there and it's not great, then don't put it in there. If you feel it's really strong and it's as strong as your environment work, yeah, put it in there, of course. But don't put stuff in there that is not your best. I think that's the more important thing. So I'm gonna select groups of these leaves and just adjust them a little bit, because they're not all gonna be lit quite the same. What else can I add? I can start to add in some. Oh, hello. I can't read the Russian writing. You sent me an email about shapes. Oh, custom shapes. Yeah, those aren't. I made all those. Those aren't in Photoshop. They're not like. They don't come standard in Photoshop. I had to make all of them. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch that I've made. And I do want to make a Gumroad as soon as I have time, with all that and how I use it, how I make it, and then give you all of my custom shapes. I do want to do that when I have time. Yeah, they have some default custom shapes. Apostle, yes, these trees are really massive. Yes, that is correct. If they are one thing, they are massive. Alright. What else do I need to block out? Maybe some more leaves in the background. I know there's going to be a ton of leaves in this image, because it's in a forest. So let's figure that out. Maybe a little greener, maybe a little lighter. Maybe a little warmer. Maybe I could even get a dash of some red leaves in there somewhere. I don't know. Jerry asks, how old am I? Whew. Why don't you guys guess, how old am I? I'm not over 40. definitely not over 40. Is Coolris good? Yeah, I like it. Really, if nothing other than the fact that the bars are real thick and very clear and easy to see. That's kind of the main reason why I have it. $30? You're guessing 30? You're wrong. You're so wrong. But only by 16 days. That'll be 30 in 16 days. But you're still wrong. Alright, so that's cool. I guess I look my age. I was kind of hoping you'd say something younger. Alright, let me look at my reference. 33? You guys are all pretty close. 33. Why? Now you guys have to tell me how old you are. It goes back, and then you have to. Yeah, 16 days I'll be 30. I'm telling everyone at work that I'm in my 20s. Yeah. 28, 25, 15. 15? Jerry? That's awesome. 87? You only guessed because I said it wasn't over 40? Like I'm 38 and I'm like, no, I'm not over 40. $18. Alright. Alright, so y'all are pretty young. Happy dirty 30, yeah. That's how I feel. I can't drink like I used to. You one of those guys who seems totally mature? What? I don't know. Am I? I guess when you get to 30, you should grow up, right? Coolris, Coolris. Yeah, just search for Coolris, and I think it's $14, and you can have it on 2 machines. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's not like I mean, these little tools aren't gonna like make your work better by all means, but it does help. Like, it's you know, I don't know. I guess it just depends on what you're looking for. All right, let me look at my ref. See if there's something. Now I'm looking at my ref more for color. Have I gone to art school? Yes, I went to art school. Yeah, that's true. I can still drink a lot, but I get hungover easily. That's not fun, so I tend not to drink a lot. What's the other chat? The other chat is on YouTube. Thank you, Apostle. Wow, you're ready with the link and everything. Yes, those are the Twitch people. Or I'm sorry, those are the YouTube people. I should have both chats in the actual video, but obviously it's not going to show up on the Twitch chat. So I'm getting close to the point where I would start detailing a lot and adding textures. Now that could take as long or as short as I want. Probably a long time. Other storytelling scenarios where you would tilt the horizon line, like Dutch angle sort of thing. It was used in a lot of old films, like noir films, old black and white films, as like a way of showing tension or action. It would tilt the camera to the side, or if there's a character who's kind of crooked, they would tilt it to the side. So it's usually like tension or action. I know in comic books that's usually when it's used. I had no idea of any story when I started. I just kind of started with a tilted horizon line. Achilles heel. What brush should I use for these? My brush set. This one here. I also have a lot of custom shapes here. I use leaf shapes for that. It's about to be time to be on my way. I'll make sure to catch you next time. Thank you, Riley. You probably already left, but thank you for coming in. Scribbly Scribbles. Good to see your name pop up again. How are you doing? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm adding in a little bit of a cooler temperature to this bark. So I want some cool light from above, that cool ambient light. It's real subtle, you probably can't see it too well, but that's kind of what I'm building towards. Yeah, at this point of the painting, I think about temperature a lot. Yar. What time are we at? Alright, I better get cooking on this. I could probably detail this for a long time, but I'm not going to. What kind of lock is on the layer that I'm using? I'm using a lock transparency on the layer. So it's this little guy, the first lock. And then you could also press the question mark key. That is the hotkey to lock the transparency. That way I can use big brushes and get real messy, and it won't ruin my design that I worked hard for earlier on. That's why the design phase of this is really important. So I'm just adding just different colors to kind of add some complexity to the palette, add some temperature shifts and stuff. I'm not worried too much about like making everything perfect. Still not making things perfect. I just want a good palette worked in at this stage. I just think like things are flattening out quite a bit here. So there's a couple things I can do to remedy that. Add some more ambient lighting from above. That will kind of show the moss texture a little bit and show some of the modeling of form. Just be adding a bit of light in here. And I could also add in some like red flowers or mushrooms or something that kind of recedes into the background here, or the you know, the recedes, yeah, to the tree across the branch to the trunk. Do I have any tips on self-learning? Huh. Self-learning. Well, I can safely say that most things that I know I've learned on my own. I never really had a mentor or anything like that that knew how to do this sort of stuff. So, and then when I was in art school, I was just fine art major. I did figure painting and drawing and portraits and stuff. So I didn't really learn much there in terms of like digital painting. I did learn some things. It wasn't a great education. I would not say it was good education. Good art education. I would say most of the learning I did was on my own. It was through Gnomon videos way back when that was like the only thing you could get. But today there's so many options. There's so many different things. Like, you know, just watch other artists' Gumroad videos. Those are a great way to learn directly from them. There's a lot of good free tutorials and stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. I think that's a good place to start. Okay, now I'm kind of like pecking at the image. I need to sort of refocus or work on a different area. How long have I been working on this one? There you go. Apostles on it. Hour and 37 minutes. Wow, that's quite a long time. I'm moving very slowly. I need to stop and stretch out my wrists once in a while. I kind of get wrist pain, and I've had a little bit of wrist pain today. So I want to just stretch out my wrists. John Way, what do you mean, work that looks nice? Work that looks nice, or work that looks nice? I don't know what that means. Harassing CGMA people? Yeah. Are there any other CGMA instructors that stream? Why did I decide to do digital art instead of traditional? Because I get paid more to do it. That's the secret. Yes, Achilles, yes. I started with a blank canvas. What kind of work should I put online to get work? The kind of work you want to get paid to do, right? Oh, I mean, if I zoom in here, it's just a bunch of scribbles. And that's kind of the thing. That's the main idea when you're doing environment painting. For most of the entire painting, it has to look good from a distance. You know, yeah, it looks good. I mean, it's not quite there yet. I still don't really have my lighting in there, and some of those effects that'll really make it pop. Sort of blocked it out like here, but now even that looks outdated. Yeah, it's important to make things look right from a distance first before you start detailing. I try to get everything in there somewhat early. And I'm thinking about what else to put in here in this tree. Thank you, John Way. Appreciate it. Is layer 7 my thumbnail? Well, yes it is. That's kind of where we started with the design. I mean, I didn't start the stream there. I started the stream on this layer. But then I moved to a design, and then now we're adding some colors and details, stuff like that. Fun stuff. Well, Achilles heel. I know you're on Twitch, but on YouTube, I put all of my stream replays up on the YouTube. So if you want to watch it from the very beginning, I'll have it up there later tonight. If you want to see where it started. Thank you. What could I put in there? I could put like another character maybe. And then maybe we could have like some sort of built architecture. What did I have? I had a reference. And this could be like some Lothlorien type of shit. Some real Lord of the Rings stuff. Because this almost seemed like columns to me. Oh yeah, on Twitch you can see the start. But you won't be live with us then. Who are some of my influences? Oh gosh. That's a tough one. That's hard to answer. Let me see. First ones that come to mind is always Sargent. Anders Zorn. There's a couple watercolorists that I really love. Joseph Zbuvic. Various Russian painters, Ilya Repin, Isaac Levitin. There's some really great concept artists working today that I really like. Sergei Koltsov, Jamie Jones, of course, Craig Mullins, of course. Those guys are always very inspiring. I knew something was missing in this painting. Yeah, you don't see my vanishing point for those stairs? Well, guess what? You're not getting one. The best perspective is when you just eyeball it. That's not true. but I'm gonna say it's true. What else can we throw in there? I don't use Vanishing Point. No, I'm not going to use Vanishing Point. I don't know. It's far enough away. It's kind of flat enough. No point. No pun intended. Naked Dude meets Lady of the Wood. Yes. Galadriel. That's too much. Yeah, she should just totally be Galadriel, actually. Just full commit. Don't look back. Now we've run into some scale issues. That's easily remedied. See, I don't detail them for that reason. Oh, she should be evil, Lady of the Wood. Sir Nicholas, hello. Thank you for coming in. Better late than never, I guess. She took the... Oh, yeah. What would it be like? I wondered what that would be like if she took the ring from Frodo. She would physically change, right? Something in the sewer, you're right. Are you changing her name over and over again? Yeah, if it looks right, it looks right. I think if the piece had a lot more architectural elements, I would probably be using more perspective grids, but I mean, it's just a staircase, and that's it. I'm not really doing a whole lot. And it's mounted in a tree, so it probably won't like fit to a single vanishing point. Because if you have two objects that are of any varying angle, they're going to have their own set of vanishing points. So I guess I think I can get away with it. And I'm just blocking it in for now. Actually, flipping it is a good way to kind of check that sort of thing. So. I think they would have a much more elegant staircase than what I've just drawn out. Probably a little overgrown. Complete with vines. should always do this sort of thing. I don't really do this enough if I'm painting something at a varying angle. What's my favorite Studio Ghibli film? Good night, Apostle. Thank you so much for coming in, if you haven't left already. Thank you, Achilles Heel. Oh, it's fine. I'm glad to have you there, Sir Nicholas. Favorite Studio Ghibli film? I think Spirited Away might have to... I don't know. I think Spirited Away might be my favorite. Mononoke is very good. Nausicaa is very good. I think those are my favorites. Like, as much as I love some of the visuals of Totoro, it's not my favorite. In fact, I'm gonna do another painting process video, which actually it's done. I should probably post that. It's of a Totoro fan art. I should probably do that. Not my favorite, but I do like some of the visuals of that one. The more recent ones, I don't know. I feel differently about those. I would love to camp here. I think Nausicaa is very good. Yeah, Totoro, it's cute, but Castle in the Sky. Yeah, was that a Miyazaki film? I mean, it's a Ghibli film, but I don't know if that's a Miyazaki one. Castle in the Sky is right. It's good. Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah, it's not bad. Good night, Achilles Heel. How important is to know 3D software as a concept artist? And what programs should I learn? Oof. Yeah, I think it's good to... learn some 3D programs. If you want to start playing with 3D and 3D process, I would just pick up SketchUp. It's completely free. It's a free program, so if you want to just get started, like, SketchUp's great for that. And then it depends what industry you want to get into. You know, like a lot of game studios use Max, 3D Studio Max, but Max is like a huge commitment to learn. I never bothered to learn it. Modo is really good. Modo's like that is like a good program for 2D artists to just learn. It's a little simpler, but everything's gonna be more complicated than SketchUp. SketchUp is, I think, is like really good, and you know, a real environment artist is gonna, like, you know, say like, oh, SketchUp's so dumb, you know, why would you learn that? But oh, you can't do anything with that. And there's a lot of limitations to SketchUp for sure, but you can get quite a good result with it. And how important is it to learn it? I think it's pretty important, but you don't have to be an expert in the programs. If you just know how to do like basic blockouts, just really basic blockouts, and then maybe drop a light if you need it. Like, I don't even do that. Like, I just do blockouts. I don't really do any lighting because I like to do the lighting myself. And then maybe if you want to throw a quick texture down, sometimes you can do that, just to give yourself a little bit of information when you start painting. I think that's all you really know. I mean, most of what I do at work is like, I don't make the blockouts. Like the blockouts are in the game engine, and I just paint over them. So if you want to build a portfolio, painting over like 3D stuff is pretty good. It's a good thing to practice, and it makes your images look good because there's less stuff you have to think about. When I'm doing my personal work though, I like to just paint. I just like to do it, figure it out, learn it. I just like to learn how to paint better. I was always very inspired by like the old matte painters that would paint on glass. They didn't have 3D programs, and they painted these amazing matte paintings for like Star Wars and, you know, Indiana Jones and all these great movies, Alien, you know, you name it, Blade Runner. There's so many movies, and they would paint these amazing images on like a 4x8 piece of glass or 3x6 piece of glass, and yeah, just with brushes. They didn't have all that stuff, so I'm really inspired by that. So I want to think like a matte painter would at that time when I'm doing my digital paintings. So you were wondering about inspirations. That's definitely a huge one. Not sure what the structure of this platform is going to be. I think it would just be kind of overgrown. I don't want parts of it to be really contrasty. Tech on Concrete, yes, I've seen it. It's great. The best part of it is the art. The art is really good in that. Yeah, Uncharted 2. Yeah, they use SketchUp. A lot of those guys use Modo now. Like a lot. I think that most of them use Modo. They're concept artists there. But like I said, like that's just like for blue skying. Once the 3D modelers start blocking the spaces out, like you just paint over the in-game engine, like in the engine. So you just take a screenshot of like this block out and you just paint over that. So, or if you're designing, sometimes having 3D, if you're doing like actual design work, I think that's where I get the most mileage out of 3D. Like if you're doing a vehicle or a weapon, I think it's good to do that. Concerning the composition, where were you using the rule of thirds, golden ratio? It seems to trouble a lot for some reason. Yeah, yeah, I talked about this when I was doing the design, when I was at this stage. I was kind of blocking out, like, yeah, I want my areas of detail to be grouped up on the thirds. I want 2 focal points. I don't want any weird tangents. I want all of the branches and a lot of different elements to be pointing to my main character here. So yeah, I'm taking in consideration rule of thirds. Golden ratio, I don't really think about that. But you could think of golden ratio like you want to create a circular design, which I've kind of got here. So this branch connects to this branch, connects to this character, right? And then this branch loops us back around up the stairs to that character. And there's a circular kind of motion that's happening here. And I have groups of detail around this circular motion. And everything here is going to be pretty loose and not too contrasty. That's kind of what I want. I want a lot of contrast here, a lot of contrast here, maybe here, but that's it. Right? That's how I would plan it out. Scribbly scribble, see you later. Are we starting to lose people? It's getting late. So, yeah. Hopefully that helps. John? Really, you know, if you build a good design and you keep to that design all the way to the end, that's the important part. You could polish the hell out of it, you know, put a lot of details, photos if you want. As long as you keep that design that was working early on in the painting, that's really all that matters. So now that I've made this move to add some architecture, I should probably indicate it somewhere else in the background. So yeah, the golden ratio, that's a thing. It's like a spiral sort of thing. In fact, if you go to your crop tool and where is that? Where is that? Oh, it's here. Yep, golden spiral. And I see this is the golden ratio. It's like a spiral. It's like centering your detail here on this third and then having a circular composition out of it. I don't really think about that, to be honest. I'm more of a rule of thirds kind of person. Right here, rule of thirds. I feel like I need some cools in here. Whoop. Since I added the torchlight in there, I think adding some cools back into the piece, some blues, kind of help it feel like it's nighttime, and then add some mood, because right now my colors are all over the place. I think that's pretty good mood. Alright, I'm going to add some smoky atmosphere. Because it's humid, right? This also is really good because it'll quiet down certain areas of the painting. And I should probably flip it. It's been a while. I feel like they're a little too tilted over there. So let's just do that. And her specifically. Too much Dutch. Too much Dutch. Okay, let's go back to my smoke. I'm starting to add a lot of layers in here. So everything I'm doing, every decision I'm making is to complement that compositional idea. I also want to quiet down certain areas. Certain areas of the painting that just aren't important. I got another question. What to include in portfolio? Is it better to do a project or a single illustration? Should I include sketches? You know, with portfolio, you always want to show your best work, whatever your best work is. If your sketches is your best work, or if your illustrations is best work, then show that. You know, don't show anything that is weak or weaker than the other images. They all have to be around the same quality. Of course, you're gonna have like your showstopper image or the image that you feel is most successful. And that should be kind of like the bookending of your portfolio, right? The beginning and end. So like your first image has to be your standout, right? Including sketches is fine as long as, you know, like I said, they're of a high quality. What I did for my portfolio when I was in college, and I always think it's a good idea, is to start your own project. Try to build a consistent world with consistent characters and environments. I wouldn't base your entire portfolio on that. Of course, I would have, you know, if your world that you're building on is like really sci-fi, but your interests are also in like medieval stuff or Lord of the Rings stuff, you know, that kind of genre. I would include that as well. But I think it does look nice when you have a consistent body of work where you have characters and the environment that they belong in. That somehow they're all tied together consistently. I think that always looks good. It's really impressive. So I would recommend, yeah, that's a good idea. Does this music have anything to do with the painting? No. It's just music that I threw on. Because it doesn't get flagged for copyright. So I got some smoky atmosphere, and I got this blue overlay, and I kind of like it. Yeah, I kind of like it. So I might just go through every layer and apply it like I did before. I know, tedious. Here we go. It's the cost of working in layers. Oh, there's so many layers. Okay. I hate working with too many layers. I do that kind of stuff for work. I don't want to do it for fun. That didn't take too long. Ta-da! Now we're done. Durant Allen, I'm glad you learned so much. Let's add some specular highlights in there, and then do some lighting, and then I'll call it. Then we'll be done. Alright. Because I'm getting tired. It's almost midnight here. Alright. Remember, my goal is to make it look good from that distance. So, she's really messy, but I don't care. So I'm going to add specular highlights in. I'm going to add too much and then dial it back. You have to imagine there's probably going to be a lot of specularity in an area like this. It's humid. There's lots of hard surfaces now that I added the architecture. There's lots of varying surfaces. There's leaves. It is sake time. They're right. Is it tea or sake time? Yeah, I don't render. Like, rendering is not something I do until much later. Depends how rendering, like actual rendering is like how, it's just how much I want to put into it. If I want to polish it up for like a portfolio piece or something, then I would definitely render more. But I would only render like the focal point areas, not everything. I think that's important. Just like not rendering the entire image. First of all, it would take forever. And second of all, it would just look so noisy. Right? What's specularity? So specularity is light coming from your light source, like the sun, or I guess since it's nighttime, in this case the moon. It's reflecting off a surface like a mirror, and it's hitting your eye or the camera directly. Daniel, hello! So that's the really intense highlight of a shiny surface. And because there's wetness in the scene, there's going to be a lot of specularity. Plus it makes it look glistening and shiny and pretty. And that just fits the mood that I'm going for with this. Daniel, thank you for coming in. Better late than never. What time is it over there in Spain? I can also do something like this where I just make some splatters and then distort it into perspective. Oh, you're from Spain as well. So it's early in the morning. Wow, 7:30 in the morning. Wow, thank you for joining at 8:30 in the morning. I appreciate you guys spending your mornings watching this. You know, I'm going to go ahead and do what I said I was going to do with this foreground here and do a Gaussian blur. Oops, I did box blur. That probably does the same thing. TUMBLR it is. I'm gonna make a copy of it because I don't know if that's how I want to keep it. So. Oh, thank you. Thank you, John Way. 6:45. Wow. I'm super grumpy getting up that early. 2:34 a.m. Deshanini? Where are you at? Where are you from? Walter, thank you. Thank you from Croatia. That's awesome. I want to go to Croatia. I would love to travel there. John Way, see ya. Have fun. Goodbye. From Paraguay. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining. Yeah, Wednesday night is like the worldwide live stream. When I stream on Sundays, it's mostly people from the US. So this is cool. Yeah, yeah. Sunday is early Monday. All right. I'm probably gonna call it here. Just want to. Well, I wanted to add my final light, also known as color dodge, or actually, we could do this a different way. I'll show you guys a little trick. See, that's what it's like without the margins. I might work on this a little bit outside of the stream, like tomorrow or something. Or maybe I'll stream again. I don't know. I always like to work on something new on the stream. I think it's fun. But here, I'm going to do a little trick. Let's turn those off. And let's copy, flatten, merge. I'll bring all this back. So what I'll do is I'll do copy, flatten, merge, and then I'll use the levels here to heighten the values to a real high key. And then I'll go a little bit bluer with it. And then I will turn it into a mask and invert the mask so it's back to where it was. And then wherever I paint in white on the mask, it's just going to bring back that light, that high key light. So since I got my layers here, I can just select layers. Whoops. And with that selected, I can start adding in some of those lights. Just a fun, easy way to throw in your lights. What's better for me? Start with a creative process, values, sketch, or line work, or then color. I very rarely do line work. The only time I do line work is if I've got a lot of characters in there and unique poses, and I need to figure that out. Sometimes I start with line just to kind of get a feel for the design in a line stage. If you look at the virtual plein air videos that I made on YouTube, I did start with line work, but just like not even really line work, just really rough scribblings. And that I was working from reference, and there's architecture. There's a lot of architecture in it, so that's why I started with line there. Most of the time when I start this way, either starting directly in black and white or directly into color, either black and white or directly into color. So I start the way that I did here normally with the design and just blocking things out in shape. Guns free, thank you. Glad you like it. Actually, I start images in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I'll do a 3D blockout, sometimes I'll have a photo and just start painting over a photo. I've done that before. I might try a lot of different things for these streams. I might try doing different starting processes. But when I'm really trying to come up with something original, I start the way I started this, with the design. And if I'm not sure what to do, I start black and white. So that's a neat, fun way to add some light with very little effort, I guess. Okay. I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I might pick at it a little bit more tomorrow. But that's it, guys. It took a life of its own. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming in. I'll see you all. Whoa. I'll see you all next time. Hopefully Sunday. Maybe I'll do another stream and another image. Geo, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, that's it. See you guys.